Not particularly,
Uh,
but we are heading into the holiday season,
yeah.
seriously into the holiday season, and so I spent the last week trying to figure out what kind of fun gifts to have for my family on Christmas morning. Because even
Nice.
though every one of them says no gifts, please, none, absolutely none. And a friend of mine said that, at least in my husband's case, it's because he didn't want to invest any time trying to think of something appropriate. But nonetheless, my family always says, no gifts, please. We don't need anything. And it's true. There's no question about it. None of them needs anything. But I like to have something just to, just for fun's sake. So this past week, I've been running around trying to find things that would please them. So,
So, what are the ideas?
okay, so I know Amy listens to this program, and so when is this going to be
Oh, 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 oh,
released?
uh,
I mean,
well, yeah.
I can count on the fact that neither Jeff nor Paul will, but I know Amy does follow us and listens to our program, so I don't want to give away any surprises. You
That's a good
understand?
question because we talked about the possibility of three for today,
Mm-hmm.
two for this week, and one for. Yeah,
One
I mean,
for
because even any of our scenarios, it would be too likely that it would go
it
in
would.
time for.
It would.
Because even if we do the holiday one right now,
Yeah.
this is our holiday show. That is actually our whenever we release it. If it's Christmas Eve,
Well,
if we release one then,
I
or
can talk about things. I can talk about some things without revealing anything. How's that?
yeah,
Okay.
but you
Okay.
can even do just Paul and JD.
I exactly. That's probably what I will do. Now,
Unless, but
Paul.
wait a minute, but wait, unless these are all relative, and this is me thinking like an intelligence officer.
Okay, good. Oh, I like when
If,
you do that, by the way. That's so
if
fun.
these are all relative and Amy hears theirs,
She
and
won't
then she
care.
makes the
No, no,
guess
no,
for
no.
her.
She's good. Now, I think she's good. I think she's good. But I can tell you that what she asked for, although she said, please, no gifts, I don't need anything, and I really mean it, please, please, please. And I know she means it. But she said, just in case you feel like you have to do something, she said, you can get me a set of sheets. And, God love her. She said, now you can give me your old full size sheets and keep the new ones for yourself. I mean, that's who she is. All right.
Full size.
Full size. She lives
What
alone.
size beds? But
She lives
still,
alone.
what size beds do you sleep in?
What?
I haven't had
Hi,
a full
Joe.
size
No,
bed
no, no,
since
no, no.
high school.
No, 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 no. For the spare room, there's a full size bed. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Our bed is a
Uh,
king size bed.
yeah, mine's been wow. Mine's been king
Hmm. It's the only way to go.
since DC. Yeah, since DC.
And, so many
San
fun.
Francisco was still a queen.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Put a
Anyway,
gay
that's
joke
funny.
there. I was a
Um,
queen in San
there you
Francisco.
go. Anyway, that's funny. But anyway, she's so generous and so humble. She says, you can give me your old ones and you keep the new ones for yourself. I mean, God love it, right?
Right. Yeah,
Um,
that's something I would do.
yeah. Now, I was going to share some fun things about sheets and bed sizes and all that kind of stuff. Paul and I, as many men and women do, I understand, have different levels of comfort in the warmness and coolness of a bedroom and the amount of covers and all that kind of stuff that exists on a bed. So he and I are pretty much now, at the suggestion of a friend of ours, cocooned in our own bed covers. We folded in half so he has his own cocoon, which is sometimes not more than a sheet, and I am cocooned in a heavy duty down winter comforter because I'm cold and I still wear socks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just funny the way people are different, I think. But we've always
Oh
minded
yeah.
temperature differences differently. This morning, he came down in a short sleeve shirt, and here I am in my winter sweater, right? Yeah. So, you know, it has caused some conflicts over the years, but nothing really very serious. We've learned to deal with them, and we've dealt with them recently in terms of the bedding by creating our own cocoons. It's just kind of funny. All right. So, in addition to the sheets that she suggested, what she also requested as a possibility were fire extinguishers. What do you think about that? I mean, Miss Practical, right? There's no fire extinguisher in her apartment, so she thought that might be a good gift if I ever needed a gift idea. Good, huh?
Is this a commentary on her cooking?
I think more on on JD's cooking than on her own.
Do
Apparently,
they live together?
she lives upstairs, he lives downstairs. There's two apartments.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, and they currently are, let's say, giving each other some space. Shall we put it that way? So, anyway, those were her suggestions. And how about, let's see, what can I tell you? I can't tell you much about JD's. His gifts are always tough in as much as I want to give him all of my ideas on Christmas. Although his birthday is on Epiphany on January 6th of all days.
Uh,
I know. It's like having a birthday on 9/11, right?
well,
Anyway,
my brother Randy is December 29th. It's in the
uh,
same week as Christmas. So
it's
he went through a life of here. This is your Christmas and birthday gift. Like it's a
mm-hmm.
little bigger than
Yeah,
everybody else got.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. So it's really hard, but I have figured it out this year, and I just ordered him something which I won't reveal, but I just ordered him something that I think he will really like, and I'm tickled about it. So that's
nice.
really, yeah, that's really
Are
cool.
you
And I have
are you
another
having any
idea.
issues with Are you
What?
having any issues with shipping? You said you just ordered something.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, so we'll see.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, and then the other gift that I'll keep now for his birthday is not nearly as exciting. He won't appreciate it quite as much, I don't think, but it's still a good gift, and you know, and I'm pleased with the idea. So he and Ginger will benefit from that one.
Neither
And
of them strike me as the kids that are like, at least at this point in their life, that are the kids that are like, oh, I want a brand new car, or I'm not
oh
going to be
god, no,
happy.
yeah, no,
So
no.
I don't think it's.
Our
I
family
don't.
over
think-
our family
Yeah,
over the years, my husband came from an impoverished situation, and
you
so
said,
what
yeah,
they did in their family was exchange names, and so they
yeah,
would each get one gift over Christmas, and he kind of tried to institute that in our family very very early on, which I just couldn't live with very easily. So after a few years he kind of gave that up. But over the years, in recent years, in fact, when I told Paul I was going Christmas shopping the other day, he said, "What do you mean? Don't you give them toilet paper and paper towels and Dove soap?" And that's what I did for years. I'd fill a basket or a bin with practical things like laundry detergent and paper towels and toilet paper
yeah.
and bath soap, so that they could then spend their own money on things that they really wanted. And I did that for years. And yet, it's like I said to Paul the other day, it's not quite as fun anymore. So I really do still need to find something that's kind of fun, or something that I think they will be surprised about or like or whatever. So, I used when I was teaching, Ross, when I was teaching, I used to be done with my Christmas shopping for everybody, not just my own particular family, but anybody I was buying for, certain friends, my brother and sister-in-law and their children. I used to be done with my Christmas shopping mostly online, and that's kind of a fun story too,
You.
by the end of October. So that
Wow.
during the actual Christmas season, I could bounce around to a store now and then and look at things. And, if something hit me, I would maybe get that too. But there was no pressure because I already had it done. So
Where
that
did
was,
you
go ahead.
where did you hide it for that long?
Oh, I have places.
Wow.
I have places, mostly in my own clothes closet that nobody goes into. So, anyway, or at least I don't think they did. They at least they
Yeah.
have not told me that they have found gifts or whatever. But that was not a
When we
problem.
had to
But
when
I
we as
used
kids had to go to the grandparents to babysit when mom and dad would go Christmas shopping,
okay.
uh, we know that it's like it's hunting season.
Yes.
We know we can come home and start digging through closets right after school before they get home, and,
Exactly.
and we can start finding shit.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
And
that was never a situation with us because I came home from school when they
yeah,
came home from school. So
yeah, right.
it was pretty much safe. But I remember the days. Now it's common practice now, but I did most of my Christmas shopping online back in the day. And I remember one time I was ordering something for someone online, and I think JD was around, and the woman asked me what my credit card number was, and I was able, without getting it out of my purse, to recite my credit card number. And I can remember him saying, "You shop way too much." So I knew all the details, but now I have no idea what my number is. I have to go to my purse and, get it out and
when I when I
recite it.
was when I was a rookie agent, a classmate of mine was also in the Philadelphia field office.
Hmm.
We were not issued mobile phones right away.
Hmm.
The first thing, like if we ever had to call the
Wow.
office or call anybody, we were given a phone card, like a
Wow.
phone credit card looking thing that
I,
you put it
yeah,
on,
I
but it's
understand.
just for the phone.
Yeah. Times have
And
changed. Yep.
my classmate was a Navy SEAL, so he was all about like different survival type things.
Uh huh.
He had his 16-digit gas card for his government car and his however many digit phone card
Hmm.
memorized on command.
Hmm.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And one day we got lunch together where we were out on the road, and he went to pay for his lunch, and he said, "Okay, give it here." And the lady at the cashier was like, "What are you talking about?" And he reaches over and grabs the machine and turns it around and
Wow.
just types in his personal credit card to pay for his lunch. And she's like, "I don't know if we can do that." He says, "You didn't. I did."
I love it. It's good. It's good. So how about let's talk about you for a minute. I mean, those my family, and I think I mentioned this on a previous episode. I should take notes, about what we've talked about, but my family has
No,
a
that's all
really
right.
unique gifting history. We've had a really good time. Now, for Paul, I was going to tell you, maybe I already told this story. If so, please stop me. But I had up on the Boyertown area expression that I was going to make him his favorite raisin drop cookies for
No.
Christmas because I made them for him for his 50th birthday. For his 50th birthday, I gave him 50 assorted items in sets of 50, like 50 bars of soap, 50 bottles of Scope mouthwash, which he really liked, 50 clams,
Wow.
50, and including 50 raisin drop cookies, which were his favorite. And I think he ate at least half of them in one sitting. Anyway, that was when he was 50. He's not 50 anymore. Okay. And I haven't made those cookies since he was 50. So this summer on the Before I Die wall, what he wrote on the Before I Die wall was that he wanted to eat raisin drop cookies once more in this lifetime. So I thought, okay, well, there's a good Christmas gift idea.
Nice. Are
So
we going with the birth year or his age or the year of you've been married or
no,
what's the
no,
number of
no,
cookies going to be?
just cookies, whatever, however many they turn out to be. That's
Uh,
what he's going to get. Yeah. And that reminds me, I've got to get working on that. I should be doing it today when he's not home. Otherwise, he will know. There will be no hiding it. Yeah.
well, yeah.
So,
So speaking of hiding, are you going to put them in like your lingerie or
oh yeah, oh
underwear
yeah,
drawer too, or
yes, yes. But the problem is, well, I'll have to do it first thing in the morning when he goes to visit his friends, because that's a time when he's not in the house, and I could presumably do it then. I mean, he'll come home and smell that I've made something, but
yeah,
yeah. So maybe I'll have to fake him out in some sort of other way sometime this
go
week because
make them at
I'm not.
Amy's.
No, she doesn't have an oven. The oven lives downstairs in Jeffrey's apartment. I can't get one up on her apartment. She has other ways to cook things, but she doesn't have an oven.
Okay,
So I'd have to go to Jeff's house. Yes. Yeah, I could do that.
okay,
That's a good idea. Thank you. I knew there
yeah.
was a reason we were talking today. I needed to speak to
Well,
you.
yeah, at least one reason.
At least one good reason. Yeah. But now, aside from that, I mean, I could go on for a whole segment talking about our gifting history, which would probably amuse some people and bore others. But how about you? What's your do you want to talk about that? Does Zach listen to our
Uh,
podcast? I
oh
doubt.
no, no.
No,
I
I understand.
think
Hmm.
I think he thinks I talk to myself because many of the times, like for the live radio show right now,
Yep.
that's who I do talk to. I
But
was
you have a but you have a co-host a couple of days a
not
week,
yet,
yes?
not yet. No, in fact, that's the call I just got off of.
Have
There's
fun.
two girls I'm talking to. One is a cast member of the Saturday Night Live show, not that Saturday Night Live,
Okay.
the Saturday day of the week, night time of the day. I guess it is kind of like the other NBC one, but it's the one that's on Yerg's radio called The Misfits.
Oh. Yeah, I thought I
And she's
recognized
one
the
of
name. Hmm.
she's Dina from The Misfits has been interested. And then the week she was supposed to start a couple months ago now, she had a conflict that she couldn't get out of.
Hmm.
And then when we were going to try it again, I totally forgot about it because I'm used to doing the damn thing, by myself and
Hmm.
coming in 5 minutes before showtime, throwing shit on real quick because I've done zero to prepare for it.
Hmm.
And so I'd been in like that whole muscle memory. And then we got to talking about it again. I forget how, but it was on the Misfits or on the Wednesday night show that she's also a part of. And she had said that, that's something she's looking forward to doing in the new year. And by that point, I actually forgot about it.
Hmm.
And because she hasn't come back to me, well, part of why I forgot about it and didn't push the issue, as you and I say, this is all about fun.
Yes.
And it just kind of sounded like it was going to be too much for her.
Hmm.
So I was not going to push the issue.
Hmm.
I still talk to her when I make appearances on the Misfits or the Wednesday Para or Normal show. So we'll have political discussions then.
Hmm.
And so I started, as of just like this past week, I was in a networking event online and met this girl who also, and this has really nothing to do with it, but it's a fascinating thing that she does. And that is, she is a tarot card reader.
Ooh.
And I don't even know what else to call her because there's so many things that she just really does not actually relate to.
Hmm.
She was on a podcast before, and that guy called her the resident witch.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess he tried to like make it comical, and knowing that she didn't like that. And I'm like, I'm not gonna push my co-host's buttons with
Right.
something that she's ultimately not gonna think is funny,
Right. 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 Right.
or,
So,
or revealing.
so are you adding a tarot
No, and
podcast?
that's I just got off the phone with them right before we started recording today. She and the mutual friend of mine, the one that hosted the networking event this past Wednesday,
Okay.
we were all on because that same person introduced her. Her name is Marcella, introduced Marcella to the podcast host that she had been on, who
Mm-hmm.
called her the resident witch,
Mm-hmm.
among other things. And I mean, among other things that, didn't work out for the two of them.
Okay.
And she felt bad for having not done better vetting the guy with their personalities and each other's intentions and what they're looking to get out of the whole
Experience. Yeah.
podcast relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like this has all been very casual,
Mm-hmm.
very hobbyist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to monetize for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
not just me,
Mm-hmm.
and turn it into some sort of business. But I want to have those ducks in a row first.
Mm-hmm.
And they mentioned about having like some sort of contract agreement. And I'm sitting here thinking, you're not negotiating with Infinity Broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
And when Marcella said, do you have time for a call today? I want you to talk to, and the mutual friend's name is Julie. Do you have time to talk to Julie? She's my agent.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, I kind of took it as both serious and a goof because we don't need us to do this. If you don't like it anymore, walk away,
Mm-hmm.
and we're fine. I'm not going to hate
Mm-hmm.
you for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her I used us as an example, and during the course of the conversation, I use our working relationship as an example. In
Mm-hmm.
that first, and that was what I sent them. I said, rule number one: this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
When it's no longer fun, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we've monetized, we're done
Mm-hmm.
because we're not going to be making the 500 million that Howard Stern is
Right.
as a gross. That's not his take home, but we're not going to be making that,
Mm-hmm.
to do this. And as a result, it's not worth it. I've got a pension,
Mm-hmm.
as do you, and whether it's pension, disability, whatever, everybody's got their standard normal source of income.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we said all that, they were both very, very receptive, but they want to do some sort of like agreement. I'm like, okay, the
Yeah.
agreement isn't
Write
going
it.
to have anything different than what all the other emails have. So put in whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
If this gets too crazy, I'm going to tell you, and it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be done before it starts.
Starts. Yeah. So are
But
you in that moment then, trying to figure out, are they writing something up for you to
possibly we
to
need to.
notarize?
Well, we ended it very positively, with a bunch of different things. So she's read my tarot reading twice. She did, well, actually, I guess technically three times, in that she gave one during the course of the Zoom call on Wednesday. And the first one, she's like, I don't want to share this. And she got a really scared look on her face. And she said, this is a, group setting. I don't want to,
Okay.
I don't want to share that you might not be comfortable with. And I knew what she was talking about
Okay.
because years ago, when I was a kid, my dad's older sister, well, he's the baby, is his one older sister went to a fortune teller to do like palm reading, or I don't know if she had a crystal ball or whatever the hell that lady's method was. And she said, who's your male nephew? And she had like five of them, five of us at
Right.
the time, three boys in the Yerger family, and my aunt Kathy Seidel had two sons, a son and a stepson. And somehow they figured out it was me. Maybe because dad's the only brother of hers. I don't know. But they figured out it was me, and that I was going to spend my life working for the government, and I was
Get
going
out.
to die a violent death.
Shit.
Now, this was when I was like 8 or 9, 10, whatever years old, when the only thing I was ever thinking about was becoming an NHL referee. So Secret Service wasn't on the radar
Mhm.
at all.
Mhm.
We played cops and robbers as a kid, but that was the extent of it. After watching some FBI movie on VHS or whatever, we're back to being an NHL referee, and so I forgot about it, and then off to the Secret Service, and I remembered it somehow, and I remembered the rest of it,
Hmm.
that I'm going to die a violent death. So my whole career, I was uberly anal about the security plan at a site where we're protecting somebody, or our emergency plans during the course of an arrest warrant or search warrant. So I wasn't the one dying of a violent death,
Mhm.
or anybody else for that matter.
Wow, that impacted you your entire
Oh
life.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So I told her that. I said,
Yep.
"So go ahead, do it in front of everybody."
Mhm.
And she did another one, which was kind of a little bit more because she was still like very nervous about it.
Mhm.
Um, but long story short, she's very positive on what my 2024 is going to be, and
Mhm.
also the broadcasting. Something is going to. She doesn't know exactly what, and it might be one of the other shows that I'm helping, to
Mhm.
launch. Like,
Right. Right.
um,
David
the
Beckmeyer.
exposure I
Yep.
get, the exposure
Yep.
I get to be inspired
Yep.
or outrage overload.
Yep. Yep.
It might not be my show.
Right. Right.
She wasn't
Right.
able to be specific about that, but she said this is going to take off. And I said,
Awesome.
you and I talked about that, up the middle, and all my stuff, because it's so middle of the road, is not going to take off yet until it's needed. That's going to
Mhm.
be about
Well,
another 9 months.
I love also, and you've written this, I don't know where, I don't remember anymore, but written it to someone that it just kind of so happens that the shows you are working with are all very, very
Positive.
positive, very
Yeah.
positive. And then
Yeah.
you listed all of them, and I forget where it was, but you listed all of them and what they were doing. And gosh,
I
Roth,
do remember that.
that
Um,
that's so cool. And remembering that mission is really, really important. And remembering also, as you just said, it won't become a thing until it's needed. And we're
yeah.
getting, yeah. And
Yeah.
I think
That was
we're
in the
creeping
group
up on
chat.
that. Pardon
That
me.
was in the group chat for the radio
There,
station on Facebook.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And we're
Um,
creeping up on that. I mean, it is certainly needed. So anyway,
but that's actually some of the news that I have today that was very last minute. We couldn't have talked about it last night. Today, early this morning, Judge Eileen Cannon,
oh no.
the district justice or whatever
Hmm.
level she is, I forget, that was hearing some of the arguments in the Trump case in Florida,
The document space.
accused
Yep.
herself.
Get out.
Yep.
Did
She wrote the
she
order taking
really?
herself out because essentially
No
the
kidding.
when she decided to hear all this on Trump's behalf, you basically acquiesced to the claim that the Trump team made. Uh, Jack Smith filed an appeal, and the 11th District Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta, which is a three judge panel,
Hmm.
two of which were appointed by Trump. They were so adamant about her not having any jurisdiction in the first place.
Right.
They turned to the U.S. attorneys and said, how would you like us to write this?
Hmm.
Would you rather it be a overturning of her decision, or a vacating of her decision. And the difference is a decision that's overturned by a lower court was a decision that the lower court had the authority to make. A vacating of the decision basically says she had no business in the court in the case in the first place.
Mhm.
And I think that was the actual way that it was given. That now makes 5 different appeals that the Trump legal team has made in as many or maybe a little bit more months that have all gone against them. I
Wow.
mean, and there are other things. I was the link is actually in our show notes for today to the YouTube video that I was watching. Um, and here's me being presenting both sides. This is a
Okay.
left leaning, uh,
Comment.
no, a left leaning network on YouTube, a left leaning channel on YouTube
Oh, okay.
called the Midas Touch Network. It's a legal slash politics channel that's clearly left leaning. And Ad Fontes Media, the bias chart that I did a video on
Hmm.
says so. They admit it. There's nothing hiding that. But my point of that being, when they say um, biased or crooked judge Eileen Cann, something like that,
Hmm.
that's like when you scold the kids for making some comment they didn't need to make.
Hmm.
You already know the other kid was bad.
Hmm.
Let it go. You'll
Hmm.
discipline that kid on your own.
Hmm.
But they have to say that Eileen Cannon was biased and impartial and bad and evil and whatever else
Hmm.
because that's how they're appealing to their audience,
Right.
as David would clearly also point out.
Hmm.
And so I don't go that route. I would just say Judge Eileen Cannon, having adhered to the 11th district decision, has recused herself from
No
this
kidding.
immediately. Yeah.
Wow. That's breaking news to me. So that's really,
Yeah. Oh,
really
it
good.
is breaking news. It was as of this morning. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And
That's almost a Christmas gift in itself
yeah, very much so.
for
With
this
the
left leaning individual. And I'm
well,
not hiding that either.
here's my I'm trying to remember to take the time to at least start the list on my phone so that when I think of another one, I can add it to that list.
Hmm.
And that is the number of things I've, for lack of better terms, called or
Hmm.
said were going to happen
Hmm.
since Biden's inauguration when I was standing on the parade route. And we were just talking, a bunch of other agents and some other, officers from other agencies that were helping us. And I remember turning and looking to my boss from San Francisco, or yeah, my boss from LA, who was on the trip with us and was actually assigned to the post right aside of me.
Hmm.
I remember turning, looking to him and another agent and those officers and said, he's going to get indicted, isn't he? And the look of holy shit on all their faces was the first reaction. Like, oh, I can't believe he actually said that.
Hmm.
The next look was one of relief because now we can talk about it.
Hmm.
Somebody else farted, now we can all laugh. That kind
Jeez.
of thing.
Yeah. Wow.
And the kicker to that was we weren't talking about Donald Trump. We weren't talking at all about Donald Trump.
Hmm.
And I didn't say former President Trump is going to be indicted, isn't he? All I said was he's going to be indicted, isn't he? That's it.
Hmm.
And they knew who I was talking about.
Hmm. Well, there are some, um, what do I
And
want
that
to
was only
say?
2 weeks after January 6th.
Well, I just know that there have been some predictions you have made that I really hope come true. So
So,
anyway, so we're talking about. the tarot situation or
Yeah.
possibility on your show, which I would look forward to. That would be fun for me because I'm all into that, what some people call woo woo stuff. So, and in
Yeah.
fact, one of the segments I thought we might talk about today, not this one necessarily, but at some point, is Amy had sent me a podcast that was really fascinating in this last week that, that maybe we can talk about at some point. But let's get back to
Did you tell
Christmas
me
since
about
this is our
that
this is
well, that's
go
actually
ahead.
that actually sounds familiar. Though. Did you tell me about that?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And you thought it
Okay.
was another one that she had shared with me, but this one you don't know about, I don't think.
Oh,
Or I don't think I
okay.
told you very much about it, and I can't remember. I'll tell you what, memory. Swiss
No, I know.
cheese slipping thing. Well, there's so many things I want to talk about with you, and I should really write. I'm going to have to start writing them down. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I do.
So anyway, let's get back to Christmas to finish up this particular episode, and maybe you have some thoughts about gifting or about celebrating the holiday with Zach. Is this your
We
first? Is this your
as a
first Christmas holiday as a
No,
dad?
this is our second one. This is
Second
our
one.
second one.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Well, as first of all, as kids, we did the name picking too. Early on,
Hmm.
we would get gifts for everybody. And when I say everybody, I don't mean like me and my brothers and mom and dad.
Hmm.
I mean
Yep.
my cousins.
Yep. Same.
Like
Hmm.
mom and dad would buy gifts for Greg and Eileen, Bill's
Hmm.
kids. Eileen, who you know, Matthew, Michael, and Marcy, Jody's kids,
Hmm.
Jason, Justin, and Becky, Bo's
Hmm.
kids,
Hmm.
and all of them.
Hmm.
And it was just a lot of
Nuts.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did that
And
too with
so,
Paul's family. Yeah. Yep.
and then at
Hmm.
Thanksgiving, they decided to do the name thing.
Hmm.
And what they eventually agreed on was the kids will come to the dining room and draw whose name they're
Hmm.
getting something for,
Hmm.
and and then they'll know. And then also what happened was like Bo was my godfather.
Hmm.
We also exchanged gifts.
Hmm.
And we did that. I'd get him a White House ornament until,
Hmm.
very recent. Until I a couple of years ago, I'd slipped on getting them and I want to actually get everybody updated.
Hmm.
But then now more recently, this year's going to be a little different than last year. Last year, he made out pretty good that everything you see behind me,
Hmm.
the desk, the computer, the chair, the two monitors, uh,
Wow.
came. The computers cost both of our computers are custom made.
Get out.
They're not a joke. Um,
Wow.
and so it was a combination. It was in piecemeal. It wasn't like, okay, here's your Christmas and birthday. It came at different times. Um,
Hmm.
the table, the desk, and I think one of the monitors came for his PlayStation that he already had,
Hmm.
and then we got. I mean, kid made out his first Christmas with his new dad.
Hmm.
Um, this year he wants rims for his car that I'm not going to be able to get until after Christmas,
Hmm.
and that's going to be probably about $1,000.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's going to be fun. But I'm going to get him. He's got two monitors there. One of them is identical to the one that's to my left right here, and the other one is a curved monitor that's bigger in the gaming community. It's
Wow.
a uh, um, concave, curve as you
I
look at it,
understand. Yep. Yep.
and he wants another one like that. And so I said, okay, but I get your LG flat panel because I'm going to have three here for operating all this. Because when I do my show at 5 o'clock, there's so much that's open that I need to
Right.
now not only be on the radio, but also to go to the other different social media platforms I'm starting to stream to. And I need to be able
Wow.
to see that it's connected and so on. And So I'm
Wow.
gonna be getting myself the it's a clip on to with a it's a strong mount, but it'll be able to hold both of the smaller LG monitors, one right over top of the other.
Well, that sounds like a pretty hefty Christmas for your family. Yeah.
Yeah, for a single
Do you still
dad.
exchange with anybody? Do you still get involved in?
No, we've also stopped that. My
Of
I saw that
course.
the baby brother sent mom and dad like I don't know if it was like a Visa card or gift certificates, but it was basically about 100 or 200 bucks.
Hmm.
And I'll do something like that. I just don't
Hmm.
know that it'll be in time for Christmas because I've got like 300 bucks left on a credit card that I need for groceries for the next 2 weeks, and I got to
Exactly.
get this shit out of crypto.com so I can do my Christmas shopping.
Now, do you cook for Christmas?
We'll go to the neighbors because the other thing
Oh,
was
nice.
we've been home already, as you know, for
Hmm.
Thanksgiving,
Right.
and that's the one where this year we were all together for. So, Dad was saying about coming down here, and I would have loved that, but
Hmm.
Mom is all we don't have the money, or we
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Have,
Mom said,
and
I said to Mom when she was talking about that, I said, he's just been here. You've just seen him. Wait until spring. Wait until
yeah,
March when we're all sick
yeah.
of winter here.
So
And
this is
that's
your
when
fault.
it's my fault. I own it.
Yeah, yeah.
I own it.
But
I own it. I
but I
own it.
don't.
Yeah.
And I know she listens to this too.
Your mom.
Um,
Cool.
yeah. But what I don't think she knows is that basically their house is almost already paid off.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And I don't
I
think
think you
she
shared that
knows
with
as much as what I think you and I talked about that before.
me. Hmm.
Um, I don't think she knows as much as what I think Dad's keeping a little bit back to just kind of
Because
he's
that's
going to
dad.
ask for her he's going to ask for her forgiveness for paying off the house instead of asking for permission and her her being like Congress and routing the funds somewhere else or putting
Right.
earmarks on it.
Yeah. I
Um,
get it. I get it. That's fun. That's fun.
so yeah, Yogi's not stupid.
No, no, I really enjoyed the time that during your reception, the reception we had for you at Studio B. I
Yeah, yeah.
really enjoyed catching up with the two of them. That was so much fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm glad they came. Yeah,
yeah,
very
that
much.
was good.
And I totally
That was
didn't think
good.
it would.
Yeah.
Um, when I asked her like Friday or Saturday if they were, going to be able to come, I was kind of shocked to hear that she was already planning for both of them to come. And of
Oh,
course, Dad
nice.
had no idea what she was talking about. Um,
Uh-huh.
uh,
That happens in our house too.
I think he enjoyed it too, though. Honestly,
Yeah,
um,
it just was fun. It was just fun
yeah.
being together and watching you connect with different people that had different agendas and intentions and
I
whatnot.
need to reconnect with one and finally connect with another.
Hmm.
Um,
With Jill
I need
and
to reconnect with
Donna.
Doug
Oh, yeah.
from
Yeah,
CrossFit.
oh,
He
that Doug.
seems,
Yes. Yeah.
and I think that we were supposed to talk twice now, and he had to push the first one off to the second date. And then I was under the impression he was going to be calling me, and he
Okay.
didn't. So I'm like, he does a lot of this scheduling for our time when he's driving. And in the
Mm-hmm.
first one, I called him like 2 or 3 times during the course of his driving, and it kept going to voicemail. So I'm like, okay, he's got it.
Mm-hmm.
He knows I'm in the voicemail. And
Mm-hmm.
then he finally texted me back later. I shouldn't say finally. When he had a chance, he texted me later and said he was been putting out fires for the whole ride,
Mm-hmm.
and can we reschedule? And
Yeah.
we did it for what we thought was going to be a good day, and then that one was like, I don't know why I scheduled you for this. This is the busiest day of the week, and we go tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, yeah, and I was under the impression he was going to be calling me, and that never happened. And that was, I guess, about 2 weeks ago now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's a crazy time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I figured. He's in retail
Yeah.
at the store,
Yes.
and then he's also a
A
representative for a
representative.
bunch of
Yep.
different microphone companies and shit. So, yeah, he's busy. I can
Yeah.
just wait till after Yeah, it's not like I'm signing or negotiating any contracts with any distribution companies or anything. So we've got time. And
Hmm.
then the other one, and I'm forgetting his name, and I think we've got time for this too anyway. But it was the school teacher from the high school
Uh,
that does the
uh,
AV, TV stuff, and
oh, Bill Cherkasky. Yes.
Cherkisky. Yeah, that was the name I was not going to try. Um, but then also Jill.
Yes, Jill
Was
Dennett.
it?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
For
to
school board business. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, after the holidays, probably people will be more, what do you say, able to connect.
Available. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Bill, I'm looking forward to talking to him during Christmas vacation when he is off from teaching.
The
He
week
and
between the
I
two.
are finally going to do a Be Inspired episode, and I'm really looking forward to
Oh,
that. That
nice.
should be good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause we have a lot of
Yeah,
we
very.
have some interesting history and some interesting memories that we can share, and he's just such a special guy. I'm looking forward to catching up with him. So that'll be good.
So he wasn't there when I was there because Charles Crummy had it. What year did he get
Correct.
picked up by Boyertown?
What was that
Do,
again?
do you have any idea? What year did Bill get picked up by Boyertown? Because when I was there, Charles Crummy was the guy in that department.
I can just tell you it was after
Approximate.
1998 because JD graduated in 98 and Leslie Leinbach was in charge of the TV at that particular time. So sometime after 98,
Okay.
sometime in, the 2020 or
Yeah.
2000s,
Yeah.
Bill joined. And then it couldn't have been too much later because we started Insight, the TV talk show that my students and I did.
Yeah.
3 years. We did 3 years of it before I retired. And when he first came, I said to him, I have this idea I'd like to do before I retired. I want to do this talk show with kids. And he said, give me a year to settle in first. So after a year that he was there, he said, okay, now I'm ready. What do you want to do? So,
Yeah. Nice.
so it must have been 2002, 2001, 2002. Yeah, when he first came.
Okay. Yeah.
And we'll clarify that in the podcast. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
my guess is our Christmas special
Yep.
is probably,
45 minutes in.
there you go.
Yep.
And we know that our listeners have other things to do this week. So we should probably
Plenty.
let them go do that. I'm Jane Stahl.
Exactly. And I'm Yergs. Have a great
And
holiday, everybody. Merry Christmas.
and this is Both Sides
Both
Now.
sides now. Merry Christmas, everybody.